Ooh, I'm going to talk about some as well. I did play some new ones. I did play some old ones as well, which we'll talk about later. But one game I did play that I'm very excited to talk about is the second season of Dice Throne. This is by Roxley Games, designed by Nate Chatelier and Manny Tremblay. This is a sequel to season one, hence the name season two. And this is essentially just a combat fighting game with dice. So everyone just picks a player and they have a tableau of abilities that you can execute or activate according to what you roll. You roll a handful of dice. I believe it's 5 dice. And you roll it Yahtzee style, meaning you can roll it 3 times and reroll whatever you want. And depending on what you get is what you can activate on your player board. Now, that sounds really simple. That's because it is really simple, and that's one thing I love about this game. But each character also comes with a deck of cards, and these deck of cards can be abilities that you can upgrade on your player board, which adds some fun elements to it. You get a certain amount of combat points every round, and you can spend those combat points on these cards to either do instant actions that affect you or your other player, to help mitigate dice rolls, things like that, or you can upgrade your own abilities. So I saw this game on Kickstarter a while back and I was super interested, but I never dove in. I didn't do it, and I've regretted it super bad. Super bad? Is that a phrase?
It's a movie.
I regretted it super. Yeah, there you go. But then I saw it at my buddy's house. I went and bought Brass Lancashire from him.
Nice.
Yes. So now I have that in my collection. Excited to play that. But he had a copy of Dice Throne, and the box is beautiful. The production quality of this game is outstanding, and at this point, you really can't expect anything less from Roxley. I just realized I bought a Roxley game from him, and which led me to buy another Roxley game.
Yeah, you're 2 for 2 for Roxley.
I'm 2 for 2. That's really good.
Nice.
And so I went and I was at my local game store and I started chatting with the owner there, and he mentioned that he had one left because he backed some as a store and he had one left. I was like, I'm in. So
he got you.
He got me.
He got you.
There's a battle chest, and there are 8 characters in this game, and each character has a game trays insert specific for that character. Game trays, like with a Z, like the official game trays people. Anyway, and each character is super different, and the game is so easy to pick up. The rulebook is fine. It worked for our first game. It got a lot easier after that first game, of course. But my wife and I have been playing this a lot, actually. We have played it 3 or 4 times at this point, and she wants to play it again. We haven't played all the characters yet, but there's so much replayability because one play you'll kind of discover how to play a character, and then you'll want to play that character again, and you'll want to see how they go against each other. But every time we play, our health points, and so you start with 50 health points, which is a lot, but it's always been within 5. Like, it's always been within 1 turn of each other, and it doesn't matter like who's first or whatever. There's no real first player advantage, and so it's exciting. It's exciting to see these different characters and play it. Now, I have no history with season 1 or anything like that. Have you played either season 1 or any of this one?
No, I have not. I've seen it a lot around Dice Throne. Season 2 specifically, I think, getting the hype just because it was at PAX U. Roxley was pushing it hard at their booth. And I've heard a lot of good things about season 2, so it's really good to hear that you've gone in and kind of attested to what they have done. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Magic the Gathering and Quarriors. Like, just mashed up together. Because it really seems like from pictures that you are doing that. You are essentially kind of picking an avatar and you are rolling dice and you're just having to pick and choose the type of abilities, making do with what you have. Maybe pushing your luck to be able to get that, you know, specific ability that you want to be able to get to execute on your opponent, or just being, getting lucky and being able to just do it right away for, I don't know, the ability to, I'm not sure really how it works, but that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from that, which is really interesting. Because I'm really thinking, like, when I see season 1 and season 2, I get the ideal of episodic stuff, right? So I'm really curious if this is something where, like, in season 2, they have different characters that come out like every month or every 2 months, or different scenarios, different cards, or what kind of designates the season 2, aside from it just being maybe the second iteration or what have you. But and I'll agree with you on the art style. I think it's fantastic. I think it's the same type of art that's being done with Tidal Blades and with Wonderland's War. I think the same type
Oh,
of
okay.
vibe. It seems to me it definitely gives me that type of vibe. Manny Tremblay, I think, is the person where I'm getting that vibe from, who has this
Oh, I
very
see.
like grandeur appeal and just
Yeah.
this nice, just sleek grand appeal is the best way they can probably describe it. But yeah, so far it seems like Dice Throne has been a hit
Yeah.
with you guys.
Yeah,
It's
it's
really
been
cool.
great. It's been so good that I'm tempted to go back and pick up season 1 because they are cross compatible, but at the same time when they announced season 3 in like Facebook or something, I don't know what the details are, but I'm definitely going to back season 3 and I'll probably just wait for that.
Hmm.
Especially if they match the production style of 2. And just I think it's a really refined system from season 1 from what I've seen. I know there's a few copies of season 1 available at my local store here that I don't know. I could just go pick it up and just see how they are compatible with each other because we do enjoy it that much. And I'm actually surprised this worked with my wife. This isn't typically a game that she enjoys, and she was super skeptical going in. But I really do appreciate that she'll try any game once, and she really just grasped on. Like it's not a super long game. A game will take us maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes tops if we're pushing it.
Hmm.
But it's really great to just pick up and play for the last thing before we go to bed, things like that. Yeah, it's a great game. I highly recommend it. Dice Throne Season 2 by Roxley Games.
Before we end on that, there was one other question I had.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So you received the battle chest, which has 8
hmm
different characters. Looking on pictures online, it seems like do they come with boxes that contain different matchups, or are those separate?
So, excellent question. I think you could, on the Kickstarter, you could purchase sets of 2. The pledge level that my game store ordered was like, I think it's the battle chest one. So it comes with a thick cardboard style box. Think like Scythe legendary box, but not quite as big, but that level of quality.
Sure.
And with all 8 characters in it, and it did come with some a deck of promo cards and like a comic or something like that. So I know I don't know how they're selling it at retail outside of the battle box, if you can buy them just 2 characters individually, and how those are matched up together. I don't know. I just saw the battle box and I was like, Jacob Wanty and Jacob Gotti.
What's like the MSRP or the price on this
Ooh,
game? If
I
you're
want to say
if you
80
can
bucks. I think it's 80 bucks. I don't remember what I spent, but I want to say it's about 80 bucks.
Okay. Because I mean, because it's really interesting if they do decide to do kind of like a battle pack type of thing that you could maybe get for like 30, right? Because I'm looking online here, they have some pictures from Essen. There's like Tactician versus Huntress. There's like a Cursed Pirate versus the Artificer, and there's like a Seraph versus the Vampire, which to
hmm
me, it seems like if they're like much like dual decks in Magic, right? Taking that type of stance of being like, what are characters that are grabbing you and your partner that you want to be able to try? Having that be like 30 bucks, you'd be able to like play and choose for a lower price than say maybe you're just not interested in like 4 or 3 other of the characters in the battle box. Why would you spend 80 bucks? So
Oh yeah.
I do wonder if Roxley will do something like that. I haven't seen anything at my local game store, but that would seem really interesting to at least kind of, yeah, like I said, lean into that dual deck type
That's
of
true.
skew, right?
Yeah, I would easily spend 30 bucks on 2 more characters of this quality, like easily, without even thinking about it. I think it's okay. Here's the thing: it's a very simple game, right? A lot is going on, but it really is just some cardboard and dice. And I realize I just explained like every single board game, but there's a lot going on. And 80 bucks for what you get, I think there's a ton of gameplay in that. But I think I could see how some people could maybe like hesitate because you're only getting 8 characters. But I really think there was a lot of depth in these characters depending on how you upgrade them and different strategies you do. But yeah, if they brought out like new characters, man, I would get behind that so easily. I just really, really enjoy this game.
Yeah. It looks like it goes up to 6 players, and so you can do 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, or even a free for all. So, could you kind of like estimate in terms of like whether you were to go like a 2v2 or a 3v3? Like, do you think it would really kind of lengthen the game, or do you think it would still kind of be this like brisk pace in terms of the gameplay?
So I was actually talking to my wife about that, and I don't think I would ever want to play this with more than just two people.
Interesting. Okay.
There is some downtime because you're trying to figure out like what to do with your dice roll, and things like that. Now I've never tried more than just us two, but the two-player experience is so great. I don't want to lengthen it. I don't want to add a lot more downtime. And honestly, I haven't looked at the rules for anything more than 1v1. So maybe like there's simultaneous turns or something like that. I don't exactly know. But turns can take some time as you try and figure out how to allocate your dice. So I don't think I would want to play with more than just 1v1. But it works so well at that level.
Good to know.
Yeah. Dice Throne, Season 2 of Roxley Games.